Hollywood, 1971, Bruce. Lee walks into the Warner Brothers casting room carrying nothing but a headshot and a dream, when the most powerful director in the room looks at him and says 5 words that would end most careers. Asians can't be leading men. The room goes silent. Every executive nods in agreement. Bruce has 2 choices: walk out and accept that Hollywood will never change, or do something in the next 15 seconds that doesn't just prove them wrong. It forces them to rewrite every rule they thought they knew about star power, screen presence, and what it takes to sell tickets in America. What Bruce does next doesn't just get him the role, it changes Hollywood forever. But to understand this moment, we need to rewind 15 minutes. Hollywood, 1971. Warner Brothers Studios, Burbank, California. 3rd floor of the casting building. Gray carpets, fluorescent lights, old movie posters on the walls. Every single one featuring a white star. John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, Steve McQueen, Paul Newman, names that defined Hollywood's golden age. All white, all male, all marketed as the American hero. The casting room is large but cold. A long wooden table, 12 people sitting around it. Studio executives, producers, the casting director, screenwriters. And at the head of the table in the power seat, Richard Thornhill. 52 years old, 3 Oscar nominations, 2 massive box office hits, one of Hollywood's most respected action film directors. He's smoking a cigar, drinking whiskey, holding the latest draft of the screenplay. Title, The Silent Warrior, an action film. Fight scenes, violence, revenge story. Classic Hollywood formula. The problem? They can't find the right leading man. 6 months of casting. 50 actors tested, none of them right. Either not strong enough, not charismatic enough, or most importantly, not believable enough. Thornhill's looking at the files spread across the table, each one containing an actor's profile. Headshot, resume, casting notes. Most are recognizable names, actors with respect in Hollywood, but none of them are exactly what they're looking for. The casting director, Margaret Chen, ironically, herself Asian American, speaks up from the end of the table. Mr. Thornhill, there's one more name. We haven't tested him yet, but he might be interesting. Thornhill doesn't look up, just waves his hand. Continue. Margaret goes on. His name is Bruce Lee, Chinese American. Played Kato in the Green Hornet series. He's a martial arts expert, really good. Thornhill takes a drag from his cigar, then laughs, a dismissive laugh. Chinese? Margaret, are you joking? Margaret hesitates. No, I'm serious. I've seen his file. Incredible movements. Speed, power, control, everything's there. And he's really good on camera. Thornhill leans back in his chair. The other executives around him stay silent. Everyone knows where this conversation is heading. Margaret. Thornhill speaks slowly as if explaining something very simple. This is an American action film. A summer tentpole. We want families to watch it. We want teenagers to watch it. We want middle America to watch it. And you're suggesting a Chinese guy? Margaret tries to respond. But if he's talented doesn't matter, Thornhill interrupts. Charlie Chaplin was talented, but you wouldn't put him in the Dirty Dozen, would you? Not every actor fits every role, and Asians, they can't be leading men, not in America. Audiences won't accept it. The other producers nod, agreeing this isn't controversial. This is just business. Market realities, demographics, ticket sales. Margaret makes one last attempt. Can we at least test him just once? We've got nothing to lose, Thornhill thinks, then shrugs. Fine, bring him in, but we're wasting time. A Chinese guy will never get this role. Never. 15 minutes later, the door opens. Bruce Lee walks in. 31 years old, 5'7", 135 pounds, black slacks, white dress shirt, simple, understated, carrying a small leather portfolio. Inside, headshots and his resume. When he enters, everyone looks at him, assessing, judging. First impressions, small, too small, doesn't look like an action movie leading man. Not Arnold Schwarzenegger, not Clint Eastwood. He'll get lost on camera, won't fill the screen enough. Bruce approaches the table, extends his hand. Mr. Thornhill, thank you so much for seeing me. I'm Bruce Lee. Thornhill shakes hands, but reluctantly. Sit down. Bruce takes the empty chair, doesn't look uncomfortable, not nervous, just calm, waiting. Thornhill opens his file, reads silently for a few seconds, then looks up. Bruce, did you read the script? Yes, sir, twice. And what do you think? Bruce pauses for a moment, then speaks honestly. The character is interesting. The revenge motivation is strong. But the fight scenes, they're a bit cliché, not realistic. Real fighting doesn't work that way. Discomfort in the room. An actor doesn't critique the script at a casting, especially not to the director's face. Thornhill raises his eyebrows. Real fighting? Are you a fighting expert? Yes, sir. I've been training for 20 years. Wing Chun, boxing, fencing, judo, many styles. And I've developed my own system. I call it Jeet Kunadu, means way of the intercepting fist. Thornhill laughs. Others laugh too. Way of the intercepting fist. Interesting. But Bruce, this is a movie. Reality doesn't matter. What matters is what audiences want to see. And audiences want to see big, powerful men making big, powerful moves. I'm sorry, but you're a bit small. Bruce nods. I understand. Thornhill continues. Look, Bruce, I don't want to hurt your feelings. I'm sure you're talented. I saw your work on the Green Hornet. Your movements are impressive. But this is different. This is a big-budget action film. The leading man needs to represent America. Audiences need to identify with him, see themselves in him. And an Asian man can't represent America. Bruce asks, no anger in his voice, just curiosity. Thornhill takes a deep breath. It's not exactly that, but that's how the business works. That's how demographics work. That's how statistics work. There's never been an action film with an Asian leading man, never. For a reason. What reason? Because it won't sell tickets. Bruce sits quietly, thinking. Everyone's waiting. At this point, most actors would thank them and leave. Say sorry for taking your time. Maybe another time. But Bruce stands up. He doesn't head to the door, though. Instead, he walks to the center of the room, an open space, where everyone can see. Mr. Thornhill, can I show you something? Thornhill's surprised. Show me what? Why, you're wrong. Silence in the room. Complete deep silence. Nobody expected this. An actor, especially a rejected actor, never talks like this. Never challenges. Thornhill leans back. He's amused now. All right, show me. Entertain us. Bruce pulls something from his bag. A small wrap, bandage-like. Wraps his hands, protecting his wrists, then removes his shoes, barefoot, for balance. Mr. Thornhill, you say the leading man needs to be big and powerful. Audiences expect that. But let me ask you this. What do audiences really want to see? Thornhill shrugs. Power, excitement, action. Yes, Bruce agrees. But size and power aren't the same thing. And excitement comes from the unexpected. Audiences want to believe what they see, but they also want to see something they've never seen before. If every action film looks the same, has the same moves, the same big guy throwing the same big punches, then it becomes boring. Thornhill's listening, not convinced yet, but interested. Bruce continues. Now I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you speed. I'm going to show you control. And I'm going to show you why an Asian man can be a leading man. Because it's not size that sells. It's talent that sells. Charisma sells. And what looks incredible on screen sells. Bruce takes a deep breath, then moves. First movement, a kick, side kick. His leg leaves the ground, reaches chest height, then snaps. A cracking sound in the air, fast, precise, then retracts. The entire movement takes less than a second. Second movement, punch combination, right, left, right. 3 punches in 1 second, each targeting a different level. High, middle, low, perfect form, perfect balance. Third movement, spinning kick. His body rotates in the air. 360 degrees, his foot strikes an imaginary opponent's head, then lands softly. No sound, just control. Fourth movement, nunchaku. He pulls them from his bag. 2 wooden sticks connected by a chain. Starts spinning them. Speed increasing. The sticks whistle through the air, spinning around his body, over his head, behind his back, between his legs. Every movement fluid, every transition flawless. Fifth movement, 1-inch punch. Bruce extends his hand forward, his fist hovering in the air, motionless. Then an explosion. His body moves minimally, but the power is maximum. If someone were standing in front of him, they'd be launched backward. The entire demonstration, 15 seconds. Just 15 seconds. Bruce stops, doesn't even seem to be breathing hard, hasn't broken a sweat, not tired, just waiting. The room is completely silent. 12 people frozen in their seats, mouths open, eyes shocked. None of them had ever seen anything like this. They'd seen it in movies, but not in real life. In real life, this kind of speed, this kind of control, this kind of precision isn't possible. Thornhill's forgotten his cigar. It's gone out in his hand, no longer smoking. He's just staring, not saying anything. Margaret Chen is smiling, thinking to herself, I told you so. Bruce puts his shoes back on, calm, as if he just did something ordinary, then turns to Thornhill. Mr. Thornhill, you asked earlier. What do audiences want to see? Here's the answer. Audiences want to see the impossible. They want to see something they've never seen before. And I promise you, if you give me this role, I'll show them something they've never seen. I won't just be an Asian actor. I'll be a star. Because talent is bigger than race. Talent is bigger than size. And talent always sells. Thornhill still isn't speaking. He's thinking. His brain is working. All his prejudices, all his assumptions, all the things he knew are being shaken. Finally, he speaks. His voice is different, softer, less certain. Bruce, that was incredible. Thank you. But Thornhill hesitates. But it's still a risk. A big risk. The studio might not accept it. Audiences might not accept it. Bruce nods. There's risk. There's always risk. But you know, the biggest films in Hollywood history were films that took risks. The Godfather took a risk. Bonnie and Clyde took a risk. Easy Rider took a risk. And they all made millions. Because they offered something different. Because they gave audiences a new perspective. Thornhill laughs. But this time, it's a different laugh. Respectful. You don't just know martial arts. You know the movie business too. Cinema is my passion. And I want this role, not just for a job, because I want to prove something. I want to prove that Asian actors belong in Hollywood, that we can play leading roles, and that we can inspire millions of people. Thornhill stands up, walks around the table, comes to Bruce's side, extends his hand. Bruce Lee, the role is yours. Explosion in the room, applause. Margaret Chen standing, others shocked but smiling. Bruce shakes hands. Thank you, Mr. Thornhill, you won't regret this. I hope you're right, because if this film fails, we'll both be out of work. Bruce laughs. It won't fail. I promise. But then, as Bruce walks toward the door, Thornhill asks one more thing. Bruce, I have a question. You knew you were this good. You knew you were this talented. Why didn't you do something like this before? Why didn't you show yourself like this earlier? Bruce stops, turns, thinks. Because Mr. Thornhill, sometimes talent isn't enough. Sometimes you need opportunity too. And sometimes someone needs to tell you no, so you can show them why it should be yes. You told me Asians can't be leading men, and I showed you, why not? And if you'd said yes, maybe I wouldn't have fought this hard. Maybe I wouldn't have tried this much. So in a way, rejection made me stronger. Thornhill nods. He understands now. Bruce Lee, you're not just an actor. You're a philosopher too. Martial arts is philosophy, Mr. Thornhill, and so is life. Bruce leaves. The door closes. The room is silent. Then Thornhill turns to look at the others. Gentlemen, we just witnessed history. And he was right. That film wasn't The Silent Warrior, but was reshaped into another project. Enter the Dragon, released in May 3, grossed 200 million worldwide. Bruce Lee became a legend, Hollywood's first Asian action star. The first and only, but more importantly, those 15 seconds didn't just change one casting. They changed an industry. Doors opened for Asian actors. Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Donnie Yen, Michelle Yeoh. They all walked through the path Bruce Lee opened. And it all started in those 15 seconds. The moment Thornhill said Asians can't be leading men, and the moment Bruce showed him why not. Because sometimes rejection gives you the motivation you need. Sometimes hearing no makes you stronger, and sometimes all you need is 15 seconds to prove the impossible. Bruce Lee knew that, and he taught us all. So what about you? What no in your life can you turn into a yes? What door are you standing in front of? Needing 15 seconds of courage to walk through? Because maybe you'll change an industry too. Maybe you'll make history too. Maybe you'll become a legend like Bruce Lee. But first, you have to live those 15 seconds.